What's up, softball players? I'm Coach Dan Blewett. In today's video, let's talk about how you can figure out how good you are. So if you're on your college recruiting process for fast pitch and you think you might want to play in college and you're not sure, like, can I play D1? Can I play D2? Can I, like, where do I fit in? I'll give you some tips today of ways you can sort of narrow that down and start figuring out how actually good you are at fast pitch. All right, so let's jump right into this. So number one way that you can figure out how good you are at softball is to take video, write an email out and say, hey, here's my stats, here's my contact info, here's my grades, my SAT scores, blah, blah, blah. Here's 2 links to YouTube videos of me playing, and send them out to college coaches. You can also should fill out the questionnaires, the student athlete questionnaire on that college's website. So, but here's the thing you have to do. You have to cast a wide net and go to different levels. So maybe you do 5 high D1s, some of the best schools in the country are in the top 50. You do 5 lower D1s, like maybe bottom 100 in the country. Then you do some D2s, some D3s, and some junior colleges and some NAIAs. Cast a net of different levels. That way, when you send all those out in the world, you can see who emails you back. Now, understand that freshmen and sophomores can't be contacted directly by coaches. So there's going to be some complications in this. But if you're a junior or senior, you'll be able to figure out, hey, who replies to you and who's actually interested. So if only D3s email you back and say, hey, yeah, we like the video, blah, 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 we're interested, blah, blah, blah. That's going to say, hey, all right, so D3s email me back, but no D2s and no D1s. So I guess I'm not a D2 or D1 caliber player, at least yet. Again, it's not to say that you're never going to get there because you can always improve. But at least for right now, for what I sent them, my grades and all this stuff and my ability on video, the higher schools aren't interested, right? And they'll know whether they're interested or not. So now understand that these schools, they watch all these videos. Like they go through all this because you're helping them with their recruiting job. They don't know about you. They want to know about you. They do. They'll watch the 1-minute video, and if they're not interested, they won't email you back. That's okay. But understand this is a great first way to say, who wants to dance with me, right? Go out, offer yourself to all these different schools and say, do any of you like what you see? And if they email you back and say, yeah, come out to a camp, or we want to come watch you play, can you send us a schedule? Then you have an idea. You're starting to narrow it down of how good you are. All right, number 2, go to college camps. So you go to the University of Iowa's camp or Duke's camp or whatever, local D3 university. I live here in DC, so like Catholic University is a good D3. Go to their school's camp. It's just their school. And they're usually lower cost, like $50 to $125. They'll give you a little evaluation, which might be helpful. But in general, you'll be able to look around at all these other players who are also interested in playing college baseball, different ages. So not just your age, but you'll see players of all ages in high school and some middle school. And you'll get to say, okay, how do I stack up? I'm 14, and I'm like this big, and I throw this hard, and I run this fast, I hit this hard. How do I compare against the other 14-year-olds that I see here who are pretty serious? And what do those 15-year-olds and the 16-year-olds look like? What are the players at this college themselves? Because they'll be hanging around and maybe instructing. What do they look like? It'll be a good way to sort of like hang out and see all the animals at the zoo, right? That's a good way to just to think about it. Like I get to go down there and compare myself and just be around everyone and just see like how I stack up, and then be honest about yourself. Are you way smaller than everyone else? Are you way slower than everyone else? What skills do you have compared to everyone else at the camp? All right, number 3, look on the PBR or Perfect Game or NCSA or whatever recruiting service that you use. Look at the rankings, right? They're going to rank girls to an extent. You'll see other commitments, and if you see the commitment, you can look at their profile maybe. It depends on the access. All these companies have pay gates, and it's different. But use those tools where you can to say, okay, this girl's committed here. She plays my same position. How do her numbers, her metrics, like how tall is she, how strong is she, all those things, how does she measure up to me? Just use those as best you can, kind of like as like a Facebook, just to compare and say, okay, if this is the kind of school that I want to go to, what do other players look like on that, on their commitment list? It's a good way to do it. Now, obviously, you can also, to take it a step further, go on the colleges themselves and start looking at like, what does a D1 second baseman look like? How tall are they? Like what is their body type like? What are they looking for? You'll get some similarities there, right? Like third baseman and D1 tend to have a certain body type. Outfielders tend to have a certain body type. You'll sort of figure out what players look like. And also you'll be able to see their stats, like they'll show their high school stats. You'll start to get a feel. That'll take a little more research, but that's also something you can do. Next one, and this one's going to be a little harder, is to be honest with yourself about how much you play and the role you play on your current team. So let me give you an example. The players that go D1, just as an example, and playing any level of college softball is a great accomplishment. But the players that go D1 are typically like the absolute best players in your county. Like maybe there's one player per high school usually that goes D1. Like, obviously that changes. Like some schools have like 1 million. It just depends on the area. But in general, it's like not very many, right? There's not that many college spots on D1 teams. So you've got to be one of the best players in your entire county. So if you're not starting on your own travel team, or you're like third string catcher on your high school, or you're the fourth outfielder, or you're playing left field instead of center field, or you're playing second base and you're splitting time and you're not playing short. If you're not the best player on your high school team, or you're not the best player on your travel team, you need to take a long look at yourself if you really have high, lofty aspirations. Because typically, the players who are definitely going to go play D1 sports are like the catcher, the pitcher, the shortstop, and the center fielder. Those are like the hardest 4 positions on the field. And not to say you can't be a second baseman or a third baseman, but typically the best infielder between the middle infielders is going to play short, right? The absolute best one. Now, again, there's so many different contextual things about that. That's not going to be the same at every level. But in general, my general point is that if you can't start on your travel team or you can't start on your JV team, what are the odds you're going to play D1 softball, right? So just take your position and your playing time and your stats and how well you're succeeding at the level that you're currently at as a measure of how good you actually are. You need to be dominating to play college sports. That's just a given. No matter what position you are, all that stuff put aside, you should be dominating at your level. And if you're not, then you got to start putting in more work and doing new things to build the skills so you can dominate. Because colleges are not recruiting not dominant players. Colleges are going down, they're taking the most dominant players from the high school level and they're bringing them up to the college level. That's how it works. So you need to ask yourself, am I a dominant player on my team, in my area? That's a good way to start assessing how good you are. All right, 2 more tips. Number 1, this is a quick one. Go to college softball games. Go to a lot of them. Go to different levels. Just like sending the emails out, go to JUCOs, go to D1s, go to D2, go to NAIA games. See what the players look like. See what they can do. See how fast they are. See the pace of the game. Just see the rigors of the sport and see how like the body type and the strength and the size and the physicality of the players. Go to the games and see what standard you need to meet to be at that level. And lastly, ask someone who can give you an objective evaluation who isn't afraid to hurt your feelings. Now, they shouldn't want to hurt your feelings, but if you're in my baseball or softball academy and you say, hey, Dan, I really want to play college softball. You've known me, you've been to a bunch of my games, like you've been working with me. What are my strengths and weaknesses and where do you think, how good do you think I am today? Could I play at this level or this level or this level? I would be honest with you. I would try my best to not hurt your feelings, but I'd be really honest and I'd lay out the cards. I'd be like, here's how fast you are. Here's your strength training. Here's your work ethic. Here's your attitude. And I'd be like, you know what? You just like don't take coaching very well. You're kind of soft. You miss workouts sometimes. Your arm strength really needs work. I would be honest with you, not because I want to hurt your feelings, but because I want you to say, or to have an honest appraisal of like, okay, I need to be a little tougher. I need to work a little harder. I need to work on my throwing, and those are hard conversations. They can really sting. No one likes hearing that you're not where you want to be, but they're really helpful. That gives you an opportunity to grow where you really need to grow. But a lot of people don't want to have that conversation with you because they're not going to just like, I'm not just going to pull some kid over and be like, hey, guess what? Your arm stinks and you can't hit. But that might be the truth. And if you're like really desperate to play college softball, you probably do need to know that information at some point. Someone does need to tell you like, look, you're not going to be good enough to hit in college. So we need to do something to fix this. Whatever you're doing isn't working. We got to fix it. That's a real conversation, but that's got to kind of be initiated by the player because unless you really want to know that info, it's kind of hard to hear. And so you got to have someone that you trust who also is just willing to give you that info. So find that person, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. Maybe it's a high school coach. Maybe it's just another parent who played college ball and, she'll give you an idea because she played D1 or she played D2 or he played D1 baseball. And they'll be like, look, here's what I see. I know you won't like it, but I'm telling you this not because I want to tear you down. I'm telling you this because I care about you and I know you want to fill the gaps in your game and get better. And that's really important, okay? So hopefully these tips here today helped you figure out how you can start to evaluate yourself, especially as a parent. You can't be an honest evaluator of your kids. And kids, Your mom and dad, they love you so much, they can't possibly be objective. So you have to go outside to really see what the world is like and how you fit into it, all right? So if you need more help with your game, check out the online courses that I offer in the description for throwing, for your routines, your strength training, your arm care, all that good stuff. So if you do need to continue to get better, you can both support the channel and support yourself with one of my instructional courses, all right? Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you here in the next video.